We're back, folks. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Don't forget, at 10 a.m. this morning, instant replay with Dave Garner. That's at 10 a.m. this morning. So stay tuned right after this show, North Georgia's only live online sports show. Now, that being said, let's go and move back in. Here's how you contacted the show: 706-889-9700, 706-889-9700, chief@fetchernews.com. And there are all of our social media ways you can follow us. Now, number 29 here, we just, a sad time here in the state of Georgia this morning. This is former Georgia Supreme Court Justice, Harris Hines. And he died in a car accident last night on the way home from his granddaughter's recital at a church down in Noonan. He lives up in Marietta in Cobb County, and he died last night. I got an opportunity to meet Georgia Supreme Court Justice Hines right here in LJ, and I always will thank the Superior Court Chief Justice Brenda Weaver for bringing the Supreme Court to LJ. It was a great day to watch the Supreme Court in action here. So I got to meet him, and they had a big lunch afterwards. And it's times like that where you say, hey, here's a memory I'm going to put away and have forever. And I'll never forget an opportunity to sit down at a table with Chief Justice Hines and just get a chance to say hello to him for a brief minute. But Georgia's morning, he was appointed back in the 90s. I don't have the year exactly, but he was appointed by former Governor Zell Miller. So our thoughts and prayers go out to former Georgia Supreme Court Justice Hines' family. All right, let's go to number one. Now we're going to do a run through because I got to get my finished predictions with polls. What I think polls are. Number one, remember, don't get blown away by the early voting numbers with the 18 to 29-year-old group. They just don't believe in an election day, so don't get shocked at what they're trying to turn these numbers into to mean. I want to go to number two. Number two, what is in the background? This is not Photoshopped. Absolutely not. This is not Photoshopped, my friends. That's in Montana. Would that be would that be 3 Indians with the full headdress behind the President of the United States, Josh?
Looks like it.
Have you heard that anywhere in the media?
Nope, first I've seen it.
That's exactly right. Native Americans there Saturday in Montana. They jumped on the horseback, went into town. That's not a joke. They're in Montana, folks. They may have tied up a couple horses to go into this rally. You think I'm joking, all right? So let's go to number 3. This is what I want to know. I want to meet these people. I want to meet them. Number 3, a poll from the Wall Street Journal, NBC News. Change of direction needed from President Trump. Want great deal or quite a bit of change, 59%. I want to know who the 59%. Who are the actually close to 6 out of 10 people that want a great deal or a bit of change out of the direction we are going as a country? Not that much, just some or no change. I want a little change, or no change, 38%. Who are these people? Number 4, NBC News, Wall Street Journal. They're running with this morning. This is the last day you have to hear these lies. Voters on economy. Very somewhat satisfied with the economy, satisfied with their own financial. 68% to 74% satisfied. Now, I don't believe in the polls, but this poll alone says Republicans will not lose. Will not lose. If you are very or somewhat, it's almost 7 out of 10 Americans are telling this pollster that they are very or somewhat satisfied with the economy. Satisfied with their own financial situation, 74. So 7 out of 10 on both of these questions. Republicans do not lose. Number 5. My primary focus has been the Senate. Now, the media is trying to spin that Trump has already given up on the House. That is the spin they're trying to sell, is Trump gave up on the House. He says we're just going to get the Senate back. That's my focus. No, when he goes to these states, okay, that he knows he can run a statewide race. If he goes to a state that there's no Senate race, his 40,000 people he brings in is only good. It will only be good enough for that district that's trying to go red. And he can't do 435 districts. So he has to focus on bringing in 30,000 people in a state Senate race and then peeling off all the other people that are running for races in that state. But if he picks a state, there's no Senate race, and there's a hotly contested House race, and there's nothing else for him to go in, then he's focusing on 90,000. I think that's it. And the rest of the state, and he misses out on the time he can win and actually get 4 or 5 House of Representatives campaigned for at the same time. So President Trump is not throwing in the towel on the House of Representatives. The media just wants to spin it that way. Let's go. Let's go to number 8. This is one I always enjoy. Number 8, where Republicans are leading. White men without a college, dumbasses. Republicans are leading with dumbasses. White men without a college degree, he's up 35%. White women without a college degree, he's up 12%. Voters age 50 to 64, he's up 9%, and he's up 7% with men. You know, here's what the media thinks of you. Seriously, okay? This is what the media actually thinks of you. The old West Virginia joke, right? Or the old Tennessee joke, or the old Alabama joke, wherever you can plug the state in. What happens when you get 32 West Virginians together? You get a full set of teeth, right? You know the old joke? That's what the media thinks of you. That's what this poll says. That's exactly what it says. Take it or leave it for what it's worth. White dumbass men, white dumbass college women without a college degree. All right, so now let's go to number 9. This is what NBC wants to lead you to believe. Where Democrats are leading. African Americans, 76%. Latinos, 28%. Voters age 18 to 34, 23%. Women, 18. Women up 18. Independents up 12%. Wait a minute. Go back to number 8. Level of education. Level of education was very important in those. Go back to number 9. I notice there's no references to Latinos without a college degree that are working in construction. All right. I know there's no reference to Latinos with a college education. I know there's no reference to African Americans. Okay, identity politics. I know there's no reference. Notice there's no reference to African American with husband and wife, mom and dad in the same house, college educated, medium income, 76,000 to 200,000. I don't see no breakdowns. I just see African Americans across the board. So if you're the brother down on the street selling crack this morning, you're more likely to be in this poll. Or if you are a black American that graduated from Yale and your wife graduated from Harvard and you have 3 kids and you live in a really high-end neighborhood, they don't think any more of you than the person that's down on the corner selling crack. I know you don't like what I say, but I just don't see the breakdown. What about Latino? What about educated Latinos? Uneducated Latinos? I'm going to tell you what. I'm not racist because I know they yell at me. They call me racist. I live 2 miles from the chicken plant. I I really think the Latinos over there at the chicken plant this morning, there's a couple of them missing a college degree. Just saying. No difference, and no difference. But Republicans, oh yeah. So, let's go to 11. Once again, here we go. 11, Trump challenges qualifications of black candidates. Stacey Abrams and Gilliam. Let's go to number 14. CNN this morning. Dems reject GOP claim of attempt hacked. Secretary of State offers no evidence of claim of failed voting hack by Dems. Don't feel bad, Brian Kemp. Every single thing Donald Trump has done, every single thing that was done during the Brett Kavanaugh, everything was done without evidence. No evidence of claim. Why the president says this with no evidence? So did you think you would be treated any different, Brian Kemp? Don't think so. So they reject that. That's number 14 on CNN. It's big. Oh, they blew this up this morning. They're trying to dispel the lie. We'll get to it. They think that this is a lie that Kemp made up. Frank Rizzo type, I can't explain it again today, Frank Rizzo type politics, old city of Philadelphia mayor, Republican. They think this was made up by Kemp at the last minute, and they're doing everything they can, CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, Washington Post, to try to squash this and not let you think this is a possible truth. So number 15, Georgia Dems reject. You see I'm taking a picture there. That's at 4:05 this morning. First thing in the morning, Eastern time, 4:05 a.m. right there. Number 16. Here you go, Barack Obama. I'm very upset this morning. I did not want it to ruin my beautiful Monday morning because Mondays do not upset me quite as much as they do you because I can't wait to get here to be with you and do the show. But Barack Obama really upset me because he used one of my favorite words. My dad always said, don't try to bamboozle me. And I was so, he threw bamboozle out. You can't have that. That's my word. Bamboozle. Don't let them bamboozle you, he says. Democrats make closing argument. Obama. White House trying to distract you. They are robbing you blind. While they're over here yelling caravan, and they're over here saying that fentanyl and heroin and all of these drugs are coming in, and guns and everything to kill your children. That's scaring you. They are stealing you blind over here is what Obama said. You know, it's a shame he can't get over 2,000 people. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt and give him 2,000 to come and hear that. So Obama's begging you. You know why Obama's on a campaign trail? Trump gets elected, every damn one of them's going to jail. That's my prediction of the day. If Trump wins the House and the Senate, and that's when he's been waiting for that 2-year mark. Year mark. He's been waiting for it because, tell you what, they're all in trouble. Why, you think Obama's out there trying to save, I would say his skin, but he's black, and they're already calling me a racist, and all the above. Let's go to 17. Democrats make closing arguments. Okay? There is Eric Holder, Barack Obama, Joe Biden. All right? There's Cory Booker in Hoboken, New Jersey. And there's Elizabeth Warren in Worcester, Massachusetts. This is their closing argument, people. This is who's making the closing argument. Whoa. All right. Let's go to 19. Now, let's wait for 19, okay? Don't go to 19, but hold 19. I will need it. All right. Let's go to this poll, number 23. Number 3, November 3rd, Brian Kemp 48.4, Stacey Abrams 45.7. Let me just go ahead and get it out of the way. State Senator Steve Gooch, he actually put a 57 mark on there. I will tell you this, Kemp will win without a runoff. There'll be no runoff in Georgia. Kemp will win. Yesterday, Donald Trump brought enough oomph to push this guy over the finish line. And today, the GOP of Georgia finished their campaign yesterday at 4 o'clock as the president pushed it over the top. They will be out. They're doing a fly around today. There's the last day of begging people to come vote for you, but Kemp wins without a runoff. Let's go to Florida governor, number 24. They show Ron DeSantis down 45.4, 47.8. I do believe the people of Florida do realize that Gilliam is crooked in Tallahassee. That if Gilliam becomes governor of Florida, he will start being under a governor under FBI investigation, and it's not going to be Russian. That has been something that was made up. This is an FBI ongoing investigation that's already producing results before he's even elected in Tallahassee, where he is the mayor, and he will be drug into that as governor. The people of Florida know that. The other side of that is they know the top 3%, okay, of corporations will start leaving the state, and that Gilliam will put all of his high-priced government programs on the backs of the middle class that have to pay the bills, voters in the state of Florida. So I don't know if DeSantis squeaks it out. I don't know if it's, but there's only 2 candidates, but I do think DeSantis does win. I do pick Ron DeSantis to win. Same goes with number 45. 45, I do pick Ben Nelson to win in Florida, or Rick Scott to win. I'm sorry, not Ben Nelson. Okay, Rick Scott, Florida. They have him 46, Ben Nelson 47.8. I pick Rick Scott to beat Ben Nelson to take that seat there in the Senate. All right. I'm going to bypass a couple. Let's just go to number 30. These are some pictures that were on the internet. I do have some of the names of the people that sent them to me from the rally. This is in Chattanooga last night. This is the President of the United States. At Chattanooga, Lee Greenwood sang Proud to be an American in person. There's 31. Let's go to 31. That's another one of the Chattanooga rally. Let's go to 32. There's 32, a wide shot. Okay. Let's go to number 33. 33 is a wide angle. This is a wide angle October economics number. 250,000 jobs were created. 3.7 unemployment rate. 3.1 highest wage growth since 2009. And also 23 or 25,000 new manufacturing jobs that we were told are gone and never coming back. We need to just come to terms with that. They would never come back. So I won't know who are the people that want a different direction, okay? Let's go with 34. 34, Heidenkamp, 42. Kevin Kramer, 53. Heidenkamp loses there. Give me number 36. Here's the President of the United States arriving and saying hello in Macon. There's President Donald Trump. That's in Macon, Georgia. Let's see what I have left. I did those polls. And all right, so let's go back. I said I wanted to. There was 2 I wanted to go back to before we close today. And let's go to Cape Girardeau there. Okay, now I didn't have time to do this math, but let's go to number 19. Now, President's going to Cleveland, Ohio. First of all, Cleveland, Ohio is a big city. It's a pretty good sized city there in Ohio. And it's not the largest city in the state of Ohio, but a pretty good sized city. Fort Wayne, Indiana, pretty good sized area. Okay. All right, pretty good sized area there. It's not Indianapolis. Cape Girardeau, Missouri, good size area, but it's not St. Louis. It's not Springfield, Missouri. It's not St. Louis. It's not Kansas City, Missouri. Okay? It's Cape Girardeau. Let me say this, okay? And I got to take a break, and then we're going to come and wrap up. I want to say this, the polls. I think the polls are wrong. I think the Republicans keep the House. I do. I think the Republicans keep the House. I think they keep the Senate, and it grows. Will they lose some House seats? Possibly. But here's the thing. A Trump rally, what's it worth? Now, while they're trying to convince you that everybody attending a Trump rally is some racist and here's a dog whistle and white supremacist, and they're trying to bring out all the negatives about you, a fact we have is right in the area of 42,000. 42,000 people attended a Trump rally yesterday in areas 30 in Georgia, 12 in Chattanooga. In areas that are not Nashville, not Memphis, not Charlotte, not Atlanta, not New York City, not Washington, D.C., not a major city to where it's just boom. Within, 10-mile radius, you can put the 10,000 together and pack a little place. No, these people drive for miles. So let me put one thing into perspective for you before we go to our break on the polls, and if you trust the polls. Years ago, advertisers, okay, or companies, advertisers, whatever you may call it, if they received one letter, okay, now today we have email and everything, but if they received one letter, they said it equaled 10. It was the 1 to 10. So if a business got a letter in and said, we're not happy with your service, they would feel 10 people. Why would they feel 10 people? Because they felt if you actually took the time and got a piece of paper out, found a pen, found their address, took the time to find their address, took the time in the old days to find whoever to address it to because you didn't have the internet, wrote the letter, Mr. Businessman so-and-so, I'm not satisfied with the service I received today, signed it, triple folded it, find an envelope, addressed it, had the nerve to put your return address, licked the back, licked the stamp, now drove over, either went out to the end of the driveway, put up the flag and put it in the mailbox, or drove to the post office and dropped it in. They felt if somebody did that, there was 10 other people, 9 that just didn't do it but weren't happy. So it was the 1 to 10 mark. Years ago, most people know that, the 1 to 10 mark. That if one person, okay, was not happy, that meant 10. Well, you know what? So what does it mean if people will drive 4 and 5 hours? What does it mean if people in Macon, Bibb County is not a small county, but it's not a monster. Well, what would it mean if Macon, Bibb County, all right, if somebody drove the day before, got a motel room? What would it mean in numbers, enthusiasm, in actual relation to polls, if the people drove all day, 4 or 5 hours, not knowing if they would get in? Who drives 4 hours? Who goes to a motel and the next day gets there at 7 in the morning for a 4 in the afternoon event just hoping to get in? Hoping. Who does that? What does that mean in volume numbers? What does that translate like the old days of the envelope 1 to 10? One person mails it, means 10 people believe. What is that effect? What's the effect? Is it 1 to 100? Does that mean for every one person that went through, there's 99 people at home that feels, I watched it, my wife watched it, so we're 2. What does it mean? I'm just telling you, the focus and the enthusiasm in these rallies. You heard State Senator Steve, I've never seen this in my life. I seen some rallies get built up. You realize Donald Trump, now Lee Greenwood did sing, you know, proud to be an American. And yeah, Russia's going to be there tonight. But Donald Trump does not have 3 bands. You don't go at 7 in the afternoon with a lawn chair or 3 in the afternoon with a lawn chair because there's going to be 4 bands. And you don't have Oprah Winfrey or anybody else. You have the most boring music in the world. I'm proud to be an American. How boring is that? And that's what comes over the loudspeaker. I'm proud to be an American. Crowd erupts. A guy comes out, tells you boom, boom, boom for an hour. The media breaks it down if he doesn't get one thing correct. You cheer, he leaves, you go home. It's not like the rock concert that you cheer and they come back from behind the curtain to an encore performance. Donald Trump, that's what he does. So what's that real true effect? What is the true effect in the 2 marks in Florida, the 2 stops? The stop in Montana, stop in West Virginia, the stop in Ohio, the stop today in Ohio, Fort Wayne, Indiana. What is it worth last night in Chattanooga? Everything, folks. Because the pollsters are wrong. Flat wrong. And the pollsters are there for one reason, to give the corporate, look at their sets. If you'd have went Sunday and watched all the top news shows, you would see they have a set. ABC has a set built for Tuesday night that I guarantee you they got $200,000 in, $150,000. You may think I'm wrong. It's got to have graphics and everything. Got to have $200,000 invested in this thing. To call an election on Tuesday night, why, guess what? They have to buy a couple of polling companies. Okay, they got to pay some polling companies, and they come up with the 537. And Nate Silverman even said, I can't call it. Why, don't get shocked if, you know, the House doesn't go Democrat. But I guess it will. But don't get shocked if it don't. The algorithm is everywhere over the airwaves. We can't really tell. NBC, they all own pollster companies. All of them do. The polls are not correct. Tomorrow morning, the polls are for no other reason for them to tell you something. The polls are completely and totally there to help them manipulate you into what they think you should know and what they think you should feel and the way they think you should vote. But they're not accurate, and the American people are tired of it, and they're not going for it anymore. Tuesday, Election day tomorrow, Wednesday, there will be a major problem with pollsters, and they will not apologize for lying to the American people about the bad poll numbers. They will spend all day saying, wonder what went wrong. Wonder where all those people were. Because our numbers were correct. If the Latinos would have showed, woulda, coulda, shoulda, will be Wednesday. Tomorrow will be the day that the Republicans Tomorrow will be the day that the Republicans keep the House of Representatives, the Senate, and obviously the presidency. You'll see. Hey, right or wrong, I'll still be here Wednesday. I'm your host, BKP. We'll take a brief break and come back for about 3 or 4 minutes because I do have a closing statement before our sports show starts.